How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about one of the greatest light novels or web novels in existence, or so I've heard, Lord of the Mysteries. Now, I can't really form a proper opinion about Lord of the Mysteries so far because I'm only about 30 chapters in, but I feel like me making almost annual 30 chapter vids on Lord of the Mysteries and my thoughts about it will create a nice little book club thing for us, but I guess I'll find out after I post this video. So the three things that I want to cover in this video are what Lord of the Mysteries is about so far, whether the first 30-ish chapters are any good, and if you should read it or not, because let's be honest, reading a full-blown like web novel or light novel or whatever you want to call it that has like no pictures at all is a completely different ballpark from reading a manga, or watching an anime. Real quick before we get into this video, I'm trying to hit 10k subs before the end of 2024, so if you could help me out there, if you enjoy what you see, thank you. Enjoy. Now, what is Lord of the Mysteries about? Well, Lord of the Mysteries is, of course, a transmigration or isekai novel. And in this web novel, we have the main character, Zhou Mingri, who transmigrated into the body of Klein Moretti. But he did so through a rather unique way, and it wasn't thanks to Truck-kun like many of the others are. A luck ritual. He did it through a luck ritual. My man put 4 staple foods in the corners of his room, read some chant, and woke up in the body of Klein Moretti, a very poor boy in the Victorian era of a steampunk world, though this world has a hint of magic and these things called beyonders. Though so far from what I've seen, average people can't really use magic, and there's like magical artifacts, but it's not like mana-y magic like you'd see in many of the other fantasies so far, I believe. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem like dudes that are just average people are whipping out like fireballs and water spells or something, like you're watching Black Clover. Toppled with these things called beyonders, who are the people that use the magic-y type stuff. Oh, and did I mention that he had a bullet hole in his head upon awakening? And a notebook next to him stating that everyone will die, including him. So immediately, we jump into the mystery of whether this was a genuine act of suicide or if there were some other means that pushed Klein to take his own life. So this web novel has a genuine, like really good hook. It gets you in and it makes you want to read more. Though we'll touch base on what happens later and why it'll like make you feel iffy. But before we get into that, let's touch base on beyonders. I brought beyonders up a second ago. I just kind of said they use magic, but let's really get into what it means to be a beyonder. Beyonders are humans who have consumed potions made from exotic creature materials. So things like a dragon's blood, for example, can be mixed in to these potions. And I think I forgot to mention that this fantasy world was at least at one point a genuine fantasy world with different monsters, though the human race seems to have really killed off the fantasy creatures that are found in this world in order to make these potions. And there are multiple pathways for beyonders to take, all starting from sequence 9. So it goes from weakest to strongest. The people who drink these potions become beyonders and gain powers from said potions, but they have to endure the side effects, which includes things such as paranoia, hearing things, and a lot of weird stuff like that. And not to mention that there is a chance that they will succumb to the side effects and lose control, becoming monsters themselves. So this world has its own very unique set of magical abilities per se that are used through these people called beyonders. So not like wizards or archmages or anything like that. It is straight up through these beyonders. And one thing that I really do like about this story so far is that magic is, yes, strong, but it is not like truly omnipotent. It is not something that you can study and do just for the heck of it. You have to take risks. So if you want to become a beyonder, you run the risk of losing control, losing your sanity, and kind of losing yourself to these potions. So this world has a genuine act of give and take to it, which I really, really like. But getting too deep into the power system is definitely a video for another time. Now, after reading about 30 chapters of this web novel so far, how do I feel about it? To put it bluntly, it's a bit boring, okay? But hear me out. It's a good kind of boring, an interesting kind of boring per se. Because though the light novel moves very slow, the information it has is insane. So if you're looking for a web novel that has fights right off the bat and lots of fights, just, right off rip, Lord of the Mysteries may not be for you. But that's just because it lacks that so far. I've heard that a lot of fights are to come. Apparently, after chapter 200 or chapter 80-ish, fights start to come, and it almost seems like too many fights. Now, these first 30-ish chapters, and I believe many more to come, are all focused strictly on world building, and the author does not leave like any stone unturned. It is a very refreshing read compared to what I'm used to reading or watching. I mean, to put it in the most simplest terms so far, Lord of the Mysteries seems like a story that emphasizes world building over all else. So far, it seems like it's a story that if it needs 200 chapters to explain exactly what is going on and where it's going on and who it's going on with, it will take 200 chapters to describe each and every little thing that is going on. Which, though it may get boring at some points, I love it. I really love how in-depth it goes with almost everything. But of course, a story that has lots of world building also has a give and take with the readers. We, the readers, have to put up with a lot of content that doesn't seem like it makes any sense for now, just to find out that it actually connects to something you read about 30 chapters ago. So it's a whole lot of like waiting game. However, I do have to say that Lord of the Mysteries really tests your attention span. If you're like me and suffering from reading stories that seem to like move a million miles an hour or endlessly scrolling through TikToks, reading Lord of the Mysteries may be a bit of a challenge for you, at least starting off. And this point is where Lord of the Mysteries arguably falls off compared to its counterparts, such as one whose community profusely butts heads with the Lord of the Mysteries community, Reverend Insanity. Because Reverend Insanity is really in your face with just how Fang Yuan is and how bro is meticulously planning things at all hours of the day, going to a guy that is just trying to get adjusted into a new world is completely different. Which of course brings up the debate of what is better, Reverend Insanity or Lord of the Mysteries. If you've watched my videos, you may know that I've already touched base on a lot of Reverend Insanity itself because I personally love Reverend Insanity. So I think it's only right if I say so far which story I've enjoyed more between Lord of the Mysteries and Reverend Insanity. And putting it blunt, Reverend Insanity kind of blows Lord of the Mysteries out of the water with its first 30 chapters. Though that is because they focus on completely and utterly different things. In Reverend Insanity, this man Fang Yuan has already lived this life, so he knows what to do and when to do it, allowing the people that enjoy an evil, meticulously planning MC to get their fix. But Lord of the Mysteries is a dude that just came to a new world and is trying to get his bearings down. So Lord of the Mysteries is a more like slower start focused strictly on world building, whereas Reverend Insanity is a pretty upbeat start with an evil child. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts on it so far, because maybe my thoughts now, saying that Reverend Insanity is better 30 chapters in, will be completely different when I reach chapter 200 of Lord of the Mysteries. So don't take my ratings too serious. This is just like to see if my thoughts change in the future, okay? Don't come for me, please. Which brings me to my final thoughts. If you are currently on the ropes about reading Lord of the Mysteries and you saw this video and you were like,
hey, look at this video. This guy's talking about Lord of the Mysteries. Maybe I can learn a bit more about it before I commit to the long read that it is.
Your main question going into this video was probably, should I read it? Should you read Lord of the Mysteries? Which, though a very simple question, is a very tricky question, because it is looked at as one of the best web novels out there, but it seems like you have to brace yourself to get through this relatively boring or slow beginning. That is, if you're into world building, but not to the point that the world is being built for 200 chapters straight. And I gotta say that if you don't like world building at all for some ungodly reason, don't read this story. It's definitely not for you. But apart from that, I highly recommend Lord of the Mysteries. So far, I am kind of struggling to get through this beginning, but I can tell that just from the amount of knowledge that I'm learning in this beginning, that it is going to be a story definitely worth reading. Though normally I would tell you to go ahead and read the manhwa first and then move on to the web novel after if you enjoy it. But honestly, I tried to do so, and the manhwa sucks. Like, it is really not good. It cuts out a lot of minor things that I personally find important and doesn't truly convey the emotions of Klein Moretti, the main character, that well. So honestly, just dive right into the web novel. You will not regret it, and please let me know what you think about it. Thank you all so much for being a part of my little book club type thing. I hope there will be many more to come. And if you want to be a part of the sect, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and join the Discord. Oh, and please help us come up with a sect name. And I think that I'm going to be creating a Patreon here in the future, but I don't know. We'll see. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed, please do not hesitate to hit the like button and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, sunrise, sunset, whatever time it is for you. I hope you have a great one because you deserve it. I love you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.